All right, so I had a problem with a mic just a while ago. So right now I think it should be fixed. And there you go. So again, I'm going to do the entire spiel of me starting here once again. I'm Paulo de Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us in the FIBA Asia Cup Saudi Arabia 2025, Iraq against Gilas Pilipinas. And this is an especially important game for both these teams because the winner of this one moves on to the qualification of the quarterfinals. We saw the standings a while ago, and Philippines and Iraq are at the bottom of the standings, and it's important for both these teams to finally get going. A win here could see them extend their stay in the FIBA Asia Cup in Saudi Arabia. Now, the Philippines and Iraq exchanging three-point baskets to start things off, and for the Philippines in particular, three-point shooting of the opposition is going to be extremely crucial, especially when you consider just how badly they have been defending the perimeter. Iraq starting off the game with a three-pointer straight away against Gilas Pilipinas, and the Philippines are going to have to find a way here to answer back. They did through AJ Edu, and here's Ali Ismail coming up with a steal and an offensive rebound for him after the miss for Hamoudi. And Iraq, well, you know, in terms of rebounding battle at the very least, they have shown us that they have the strength in it. Ooh, and Ali Ismail, another three-pointer here coming for the Iraqi side. And again, the Philippines have done a very bad job in terms of limiting three-pointers for their opposition. So let's see how they respond and deal with this, because this is going to be one of the biggest issues they have to deal with. And if they don't get it resolved soon, this will be another long day for the Philippines. And Iraq, even though they have been winless the past few games, in the past two games have shown a bit of fight. You know, they have shown a bit of fight throughout this competition as well. So right now, it is 6-5, courtesy of AJ Edu, who's off to a good start here for Gilas Pilipinas, making a 3 and then a 2. Scotty Thompson getting the assist there. So if you're the Philippines, you're going to have to wonder what are the defensive adjustments Gilas Pilipinas will make against Iraq, especially in the perimeter. Now, if you're Iraq, well, they have shown us that they have had the capability, at the very least, to come up big in terms of the statistical categories, especially when you talk about Abdullah Ali Brahimi, who averages around 13.5 points per game and 7.7 rebounds per game. But also you have to take a look at Demario Mayfield, who averages 10 points per game. Both of them have said very publicly that they are not going to be giving up here against this Gilas Pilipinas team, still looking to extend their stay here in Saudi Arabia. Defensive rebound here coming from Jumar Fajardo after the miss for Ala Abdul Allah. And of course, we are going to see whether or not Gilas Pilipinas can just keep on going here against this Iraq team. In terms of the rankings, by the way, it is very much in favor of the Philippines. But then the rankings go out the window when we start talking about when it's a do or die game, which it practically is. So there's a nice block here coming for Al Zuhairi, but then again on the other end, Hamoudi with a miss, with Dwight Ramos coming away with the rebound. 65 still in favor of Iraq near the halfway point of this first quarter. So a bit of a difficult time here for the Philippines in terms of finding their groove offensively. Only 5 points here so far. And, you know, it has been a big story, at least here in the Philippines, when we take a look at what's happening for them here in this FIBA Asia Cup. They are definitely underachieving so far, as Scotty Thompson misses a 3. Defensive rebound there coming for this very battling Iraq team. So, question now is if Gilas Pilipinas can get some stops as well. You can have bad offense, but then, ooh, there it is. Hamoudi with another 3-ball. All the shots made by Iraq are coming from beyond the arc. Incredible performance for them so far. And they have yet to have an answer, really, talking about the Philippines in terms of three-point shooting. They're going to have to take a look at this. Scotty Thompson misses from underneath. Now, we'll see whether or not they can bounce back as another defensive rebound. A block shot, by the way, for Al Zuhairi. And this time, the first two-pointer here of Iraq. And they have already, at this juncture, a 6-point lead. This one coming for Hamoudi. Hamoudi has been in the mood here. 5 points straight here for him, the 5-0 run. Of course, AJ Edu, the only other scorer here for Gilas Pilipinas. I'm going to take a look at the players on the floor here for Gilas. And it looks like it is Scotty Thompson, Junmar Fajardo, Dwight Ramos, Justin Brownlee, and AJ Edu. Justin Brownlee hasn't really gotten in the swing of things yet. 0 of 3 is Scotty Thompson. He has taken the most shots from AJ Edu's 2 of 4. Justin Brownlee 0 of 1 here. That has to change soon. He can take over games if given the opportunity. So Justin Brownlee misses the 2-pointer as Ali Ismael come away with the rebound. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here in this chat party. This is, by the way, not going to be this is not going to be where you can watch the entire game. This is just a second screen experience. So what you do is that you turn on the actual broadcast, and we are going to be able to give you a different voice if you'd like. As we take a look at some of the numbers here in terms of their percentages here and their numbers that they've gotten. So both teams even at 7 apiece. Assist count higher here for Iraq. That's understandable because they are shooting the ball a bit better. And of course, 1 of 5 from 2-point land, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc is the Philippines. Only 2 of 9 here to start out with for Gilas Pilipinas. Iraq has been doing a good job, but here's a foul on Hamoudi, fouling Justin Brownlee as he goes on the attack. They're going to need an aggressive Justin Brownlee if they want to come away with the win. I don't think that there's any debate about that. So far, slow start for the Philippines. Slow start for the Philippines, and Justin Brownlee will try to find a way to get things done. Now, here's a nice basket for Dwight Ramos. That's an important one here because it has been tough going here for Gilas Pilipinas. All right, so Dwight Ramos getting that score to go. As I go fix my screens here for you, make sure I see everything. It looks like here AJ Edu this time will foul Hamoudi. Hamoudi has started out well. Zulfikar Hamoudi, 5 points in this game so far, nearly half the points of Iraq, as Iraq hold a 11-7 lead past the 4-minute mark. Junmar Fajardo with a defensive rebound, and Hamoudi finally misses. So we go the other way. Gilas Pilipinas still looking for a semblance of offense here. It has been slow goings here. Of course, still time here for the Philippines to catch up, and of course for Iraq to show everyone that they are not side to be trifled with, as Junmar Fajardo gets his first basket of the game, 11-9. Still a 2-point lead here for Iraq. As Iraq goes the other way. For a quick look here at the stats here, Gilas Pilipinas shooting 31%, Iraq only at 33%, but then Iraq have been shooting 50% from beyond the arc. That is concerning here if you're Coach Tim Cone and the rest of the Philippines. Again, the 3-point shooting has not been great. Chinese Taipei practically shot 50% against Gilas Pilipinas in their first game, and then of course New Zealand as well. Everyone was shooting well there for Gilas Pilipinas. As another basket here, or rather a substitution here with Chris Newsom coming in for AJ Edu. AJ Edu, great start. Chris Newsom with a miss on his very first introduction here to this game. So Natsu is asking on our chat, how is Dwight doing? Well, Dwight has had a relatively tough tournament here so far. I'd say relatively tough because the consistency is not quite there. As Ihab Al-Zuhairi gets 2 points here for Iraq, 13-9 in favor of the Iraqis. So the thing with Dwight Ramos and the rest of Gilas Pilipinas as a whole, to be quite frank, they have had poor first halves. Their second halves have been a lot better. Dwight, I believe, the past 2 games has scored at most 2 field goals in the first half. That has to change because in the second half he explodes in terms of his scoring capacity. So we'll see if that stays the case now, or if Dwight Ramos can get going. He had a shot a while ago. We'll find out if it will help out, as Al-Zuhairi has a bonus free throw to try and convert to make it 14-9, and he gets that to fall. That's whose hopes that the Philippines could win today. Atomo says, yes, 11-5 is crazy. Well, you know what? It, I wouldn't say crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me, to be quite honest, because the Philippines has had a difficult time in terms of the perimeter defending, and that has shown to be true even against Iraq, who, uh, with all due respect, ranking wise, it's a there's a big difference. As Junmar Fajardo makes it a 3-point game, scoring inside. Scotty Thompson coming up with the assist. Ooh, but Ali Ismael draining a three ball here, and the perimeter defending woes for the Philippines continue. What is up with the Philippines defense in the perimeter? Because that is another three ball here coming for Iraq. Ali Ismael getting that to fall. And it just feels like whoever shoots here for Iraq gets it to go. 57.14% to start out the game in terms of 3-point shooting. That is good for 4 of 7 for Iraq. And here it is. Chris Newsom will shoot 2 free throws because of the foul of Al Zuhairi, trying to keep it in touching distance. So, yeah, the three ball, I know it has been such a big weapon here for any team playing the Philippines. Any team. So the title trickster asked a while ago, where are you watching? Well, I'm watching here from the Philippines. I'm Filipino, but I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, as Chris Newsom drains the first 2. Well, for those in the chat, that we're on subscribers mode only, so make sure you do subscribe so you can join in the conversation, and make sure that you let us know where you are watching from. Of course, Habazlam Bazaza the 6 is trying his best to add a bit of color to the chat, trying to say that the Philippines is not going to get it. But of course, let's see what they have to say about that. Miss free throw, by the way, for Chris Newsom, but Junmar Fajardo collects the rebound on the other end as Al Zuhairi has the miss. Ooh, and a bad pass here coming from Justin Brownlee. A turnover. We go the other way. Gilas Pilipinas still trailing by 5 here with 1:35 left here in quarter number 1. For those wondering whether or not this is going to be an easy game for Gilas Pilipinas, I think it's safe to say it would not. They had to go out here and start out strong. They haven't done that yet here, with Iraq knocking on the door here of a 20-point first half against Gilas' 12. 1:35 or so, rather 1 minute left here in this one. So Rhonda Brau is watching from Maui in Hawaii. Yes, sir, he says. Thank you so much for joining us here, Rhonda Brau. Really appreciate you being here, making yourself heard. Gilas Pilipinas still looking for semblance of offense here. And the question is, where will they get it? It's 17-12 after the split free throws of Chris Newsom, but Chris Newsom will end up fouling Abdullah. Got the offensive rebound. Jay Buenafe is watching from Dubai. I was just there earlier this year. It was hot as always, but then, my goodness, could it be beautiful if you know where to go. And it is for sure. Saw the sand dunes, went around to a couple of museums. It was really interesting. Really enjoyed my time in Dubai. And here, Iraq are guiding off the hot start. I feel like they needed this hot start, talking about Iraq, because it has been tough going here for the Philippines. There'll be 2 free throws, by the way, for Chris Newsom. And series of substitutions here for Gilas Pilipinas and Iraq, as Demario Mayfield checks in, as well as Kevin Kembao and Calvin Oftana for the guys in blue. So Ali Ismael makes a second free throw. Sorry, the foul was on Chris Newsom, and Ali Ismael split the free throws right after that. So it is 18-12, 6-point lead here for Iraq. Carlos Desagon is here in Etivac, in Cavite, supporting Dwight. Marcelino Librada is coming from Cabuyao in Laguna, Philippines. Dennis Medel is asking, walang live, boss? Well, the live depends on where you're watching around the world. So for those watching in Dubai, in Hawaii, or wherever you are, you can go check out the local providers or check out the FIBA website. Here in the Philippines, it's on RPTV, it's on Pilipinas Live, it's on Signal Play. So check out those particular websites and outlets, because here ito second screen to. So this is a second screen experience. You play the game, and as the game is going, we're gonna have a separate commentary, which is this one, as Iraq end the quarter strong. Are ending the quarter strong here with Justin Brownlee missing a 3-point J, and Iraq having a 6-point lead going into the second quarter, unless they can add on in the last few seconds. We'll see. We're gonna wait for the official confirmation on the whether or not this is going to be a the end here for the first quarter. There's a couple of moving parts here as we wrap up the first quarter. And that should be it. 18-12 in favor of Iraq in quarter number one. Gilas Pilipinas struggling here. So for all the fans of Iraq or the haters of the Philippines, how do you feel about that first quarter coming from Iraq? They have shot the ball well. Talking about the Iraqis, they have shot a cool 50% from beyond the arc. They've only shot 22% from the 2-point land, but if you're shooting 50% from three, that I'd take that any day. 3-point shooting, 4 of 8 are Iraq. 2-point shooting, 2 of 9. That is a skewed number. So they are still giving up 3-point shots. Some of the Philippines, and we don't know what the real best answer is. It may be the schemes of Gilas Pilipinas. It's not lending itself here to work for this particular tournament so far. I mean, like, we know that there's quality in this group. This is the same group. Well, this is the same coaching staff. All right, so Jay Bonifaz is asking, can you repeat the website to watch in Dubai, please? Well, you know what? You're going to have to, if our friends from FIBA actually could put that down, the link of where we can access the if you can access the different the streams per country, so Jay Bueno if I can see it. But I'm gonna try and look for it as well. Yes, the first quarter is over. It's 18-12 in favor of Iraq. Now for Stephen King Martinez, yeah, actually there have been a lot of streamers doing this type of broadcast. Pero syempre may broadcast rights din na kailangan tignan, or kailangan talagang, just to be able to respect it. And at the same time, accessible naman especially here in the Philippines. A lot of different outlets for it. RPTV, you have a Signal Play, you also have Pilipinas Live, so you can check that out. Of course, it's the second stream experience, so this is the chat party. It is the conversations here that matter underneath, and of course, a different type of commentary or different type of discussion you can have while playing the game on the side. Of course, we encourage everyone to still watch it. And a couple of misses here for both these teams, as Hassan Abdullah misses out after Calvin Oftana unable to get it there. Oh, and a missed layup here for Justin Brownlee. Slow start here for Justin Brownlee. Justin Brownlee, typically the go-to guy for the Philippines, 0 of 3 to start out here for Gilas Pilipinas. Haven't been able to lean on him yet, as Muhammad Al-Kafaji gets a defensive rebound. So a turnover here for Demario Mayfield as an offensive foul, and Kevin Cambao is the guy to get the foul from Demario Mayfield. Of course, I'm just taking a look at this. Senpai, walang live. Yep, not here. You have to check out the live if you're in the Philippines on RPTV, Pilipinas Live, Signal Play, and One Sports. Arturo says Gilas says nothing about Justin Brownlee. I push back against that, though he has a big part. And of course, I believe we have some Dwight fans here from Levanga. On the brow, showing us where he likes what he thinks could happen. And of course, Dwight Ramos gets a lay in here, making it a 4-point game, 18-14. Miss here coming from Muhammad Al-Kafaji. Gets his own miss though. 8:47 left in the second quarter. Of course, Gilas Philippines need to clamp down defensively, especially on the three-point shooting of Iraq. Because the Philippines, are, for some reason, have been allergic to defending the three ball, or at least defending it well. Over under. Someone's asking. Steven Martinez is asking for insights on over under in this game. I'm not really a gambling guy, but in terms of how the scoring will go, just taking a look at the fact that it was a 14-point quarter, 12-point quarter for Gilas Pilipinas. I'll go check on that again. 12-point point quarter for Gilas Pilipinas. Iraq with 18, and right now we are at the 2 minutes past or near that for quarter number 2. Could be a very slow, could be a low scoring game. Of course, that could change later on. As Gilas Pilipinas getting the score here, courtesy of Dwight Ramos' made free throw. He was fouled by Muhammad Al-Kafaji. Someone asking if there is a Facebook Live. I'm not aware if there is, as Dwight Ramos gets the 2 free throws to make it 18-16. 18-16 here in favor still of Iraq, who got off to a good start. Grabbing 3-point shooting nila kanina. 50%. Just amazing 3-point shooting for Iraq. 50% in the first half, in the first quarter. Oh, and another made 3-pointer here. This one coming from Hassan Abdullah. Again, I don't know what it is. Everyone is shooting well against Gilas Pilipinas. Everyone. Iraq are not a good 3-point shooting team, statistically speaking. Actually, I'm going to go check on that right now. Are Iraq a good 3-point shooting team in this tournament? I'm looking at the statistics. On average, 3-point shooting. They shoot around 31%, but they only make around 7.5 per game. 7.5 3-pointers per game. As Carl Tomay answers back with 3 of his own, that's a big one, 21-19. So, they average around 7 3-pointers a game. Talking about Iraq, we're not even halfway through the second quarter. They already have 5. They're shooting the ball well. Talking about Iraq, they are shooting the ball well. The question is, can the Philippines withstand a good shooting night for Iraq? Can they withstand a good shooting night for Iraq and actually come away with the win? I don't know if it'll be comfortable, to be honest. As here we have a foul drawn by Calvin Oftana against Hassan Abdullah. So someone says at the bottom, Korea advances to the quarterfinals. I'm going to try and bring up the official standings as per the FIBA AsiaCup website, which you can catch on FIBA.basketball, www.FIBA.basketball, and then just follow the events going into the Asia Cup. As Carl Tamayo drains another 3-pointer, and finally, Gilas Pilipinas have the lead here, 22-21. The defense coming to play here in the second quarter for Gilas Pilipinas, and cue the timeout, by the way, from Iraq. They only had 3 points here so far, talking about Iraq, in the first 4 minutes or so of this second quarter. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. This is the FIBA chat party. You cannot watch the game live here, but then you can leave this on, have a comment or two at the bottom, have a discussion with everyone there, and of course, maybe even ask me questions. If I can answer it, I will. And when we have this type of experience, you have the game live on a different screen, and this is your second screen wherein you can elect to hear our audio and have conversations with people in our live chat as well. All right, so we're just taking a look at what's happening here so far. This is the first lead here of Gilas Pilipinas at 22-21 at the 6:39 mark. And so far, it has been Dwight Ramos who leads the charge for the Philippines with 6 points. Dwight Ramos has been a bit he was inconsistent this tournament because he's had one good half and then a good half, but hasn't put all four quarters together so far. But 6 points, 2 of 2 to start out the half here for Dwight Ramos. He's going to be hoping for a bit more. On the other end, Justin Brownlee still scoreless here in 11 minutes of play. That is a bit unusual. Talking about Gilas Pilipinas, with Carl Tamayo also leading charge. He had a back-to-back triples just a while ago. So, as I mentioned a while ago, I'm going to try and check out the standings as well in just a bit. As right now we are nearing the halfway point of the second quarter. It's still 22-21 here. And right now in favor of Gilas Pilipinas. And a miss here for Carl Tamayo, but an offensive rebound. Of course, Ali Brahimi getting the block on Carl Tamayo. And a miss three here for Dwight Ramos. 6:06 left here on the clock. Now, so far, as I take a look at it has been Australia, Lebanon, and Korea. All of them advanced to the quarterfinals. Well, for Lebanon and Korea, they advanced to the quarterfinal qualifiers. Qatar won't make it. Iran, Japan, and Guam will advance to at least quarterfinals qualifiers. Japan and Guam will have to take the harder route, with Iran still undefeated. As Chris Newsom will be hit here with a foul after a defensive rebound coming from Hassan Abdullah. 22-21 here. Gilas leading 5-41. So yes, Korea does advance, by the way, to the quarterfinals qualifiers at the very least. On the other end, in Group C, you have China, who are undefeated, and then King of Saudi Arabia and Jordan with the win so far. Now, if you're King of Saudi Arabia, what's going to happen is that you're going to play the winner of this game. Obviously they still have to beat India, and Jordan has to beat China for things to flip around. But I digress. What I mean is that most likely opponent is going to be the King of Saudi Arabia for the winner of this game between the Philippines and Iraq. Ooh, and they get the lead back here, talking about DeMario Mayfield getting 3 free throws after a foul on Chris Newsom. He only makes 2 though. So it is only a 1-point lead for Iraq with near the halfway point of this. As CJ Perez checks in. CJ Perez did not really play in the last game. I don't think he played at all in the last game for Gilas Pilipinas. And here he is making an impact instantly. 3 points here for CJ Perez. Big basket here for Gilas Pilipinas as the lead swings back 25-23. What do you guys think of CJ Perez? As Mohamed Al-Kafaji getting 2 as well. They are battling here. This is not a pushover team, talking about Iraq, even though the rankings say different. No, this is going to be a bit competitive. As Gilas Pilipinas trying their best here to not disappoint it feels like a home crowd every time Gilas Pilipinas plays in the Middle East in particular. Now in Saudi Arabia, of course. As I had another look at the 3-pointer for CJ Perez. He was left with enough room and he really took advantage. Jay Buenafe is excited for Gilas to help show the world that basketball is the religion of the Philippines. It definitely is one of them. So there was a shot there made by Mohamed Al-Kafaji, but with the miss here of the bonus free throw, Kevin Kiambao scores after Carl Tamayo gets a rebound. CJ Perez pushes the issue and finding Kevin Kiambao for his first basket of the game, as the young guys are starting to show out here. Kevin Kiambao and Carl Tamayo. Of course, Kevin had a good first game. As you know, I'm going to try and look back at the last score coming from Kevin Kiambao, and it looks like it is a drive from CJ Perez. Or rather, a good find from CJ Perez, a little alley-oop play-in. Justin Brownlee checks in for Carl Tamayo. Can Justin Brownlee get going? If you're Gilas, they are now winning by their. Oh no! Here's Iraq coming back. Iraq hit the three. 28-27, and the three-point shooting of Iraq has kept them in it, as DeMario Mayfield will be credited with that three. Hassan Abdullah with the assist, and we are at the 4:28 mark. Here's another look. Oh, and Kevin Cambao answers back. Give me that lead back, says KQ. And a steal here from Calvin Oftana. In short order, Calvin Oftana gets a steal from Hassan Abdullah, but then a miss here coming for CJ Perez. Defensive rebound coming from Al Khafaji. At least will be credited with that defensive rebound. You know, Kevin Cambao with that shot a while ago. It was a quick stop and a floater. As Abdullah gets the dunk here. Abdullah Ali Brahimi. Answer back against Gilas Pilipinas. Ooh, Calvin Oftana misses, but then Kevin Cambao gets an offensive rebound here. Still a 1-point lead here for Iraq. And a miss here from Justin Brownlee underneath. So Justin Brownlee is struggling here. If you're Gilas Pilipinas, you're wondering, can Gilas actually take the win if Justin Brownlee is a non-factor here? Because it's no joke, he's a non-factor. He is 0 points, 0 of 4 from the field, a -3 in terms of efficiency, -11 in terms of the raw plus minus, only 1 rebound and 1 assist. So Justin Brownlee not producing the numbers we're used to, as DeMario Mayfield gets another lay-in. So 32-29, 3-point lead here for Iraq. This is never going to be an easy game, and they are showing that here. DeMario Mayfield and the rest of this Iraq team coming in strong. Foul drawn here by Mayfield. And it'll be a bonus free throw, by the way, so a chance to make it 33-29. He gets a free throw to go, 33-29 in favor of Iraq. So for the Philippines right now, we called timeout after that, by the way. They were in control the second quarter, but then a good run here from Iraq makes it a 17-15 quarter, still in favor of Gilas Pilipinas, but then Iraq have come roaring back. Their shooting has been on point. They have forced turnovers and a couple of misses here defensively. So the Philippines definitely not in full flow. Coach Tim Cohn for the Philippines has said that they have yet to solve their problem of starting the game slowly. This is a bit indicative of that as well. They're starting off a bit slowly. Here in the half rather, for the Philippines, and they're gonna have to change things sooner rather than later. So of course, Laka's asking where they can watch for free. Of course, rather watch the game. It depends on what country you're in. You can check the FIBA website to try, and our FIBA basketball to see where the broadcasters are. So Mongol is watching on a different place. But again, thank you for still being here, even if though you're watching through a different screen. We really appreciate you. Hopefully, Mongol Khan Axe can come in as well. So, Yang Fan, maybe a young fan, is asking what has happened. Well, what has happened so far is that Iraq have got off to a good start. They got off to a good start, especially in terms of three-point shooting, because right now they're shooting 54% from beyond the arc. Every team is playing very well against the Philippines from beyond the arc. Can the Philippines start to defend the three-point line better? Can they identify shooters better and make a difference there? That has not been the case for majority of this tournament so far. Are they capable? I believe so. But of course, they need to get going. 20 rebounds for the Philippines as they now out-rebound Iraq. Only 7 assists for the Philippines to the 9 of Iraq. So Mahmoud is confident that Iraq will collapse in the second half. Over the Philippines, they don't start in the first half. It's like they start in the second half. So let's see if that will come together. Here in this tournament, at least, that's what's the case here for the Philippines. They are not able to maintain much momentum, or rather, start off with any sort of momentum. So right now we have a series of plays here that has just been updated for you guys on our chat because it has been difficult. Foul drawn here by Justin Brownlee. So if you're Justin Brownlee, you have yet to make a field goal. You're gonna try and hope that you can get a couple of free throws in and see it going. Yeah. So WH says right. Yeah, Brownlee not firing yet. He's not firing yet. But again, do the Philippines need Justin Brownlee to produce? Because some people have off games. It happens. People have off games. I personally believe that the Philippines has enough weapons to beat Iraq without the Justin Brownlee. Obviously, it's better if Justin Brownlee is there. But Iraq have also shown us that they are upset-minded and they are able to, at least in this game, threaten the Philippines with their three-point shooting. Justin Brownlee gets the first two free throws. They can also be stingy on defense because they're holding off the Philippines, and they've held Justin Brownlee to only 1 point after splitting his free throws in the first half. That is insane, as Ali Brahimi gets a defensive rebound here for Iraq with 1:38 left to go here in quarter number 1. All right, so WH believes that if Brownlee is off, Gilas won't win. Well, we'll see, because Brownlee has been off in this game. They are now trailing by 3, and that could be true, but we'll find out after this one, right? And a block shot here from CJ Perez as Iraq come away with the rebound. And cue the timeout here coming from Iraq with 1:08 left. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This is the FIBA chat party. We are so happy you're here with us. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, making the call here for you on this chat party. I'm also watching the game alongside you guys through a second screen, and hopefully we can ensure that it'll be a good time for all of us. It has been difficult here for Gilas Pilipinas. They have not played particularly well. For Iraq, on the other end, they are shooting the lights out. They're doing so well spacing the floor. They have really taken advantage of the poor perimeter defending of the Philippines. But at the same time, Gilas Pilipinas has not been able to penetrate this Iraq defense as regularly as they want to. So we're going to find out which team holds more as this game goes by. Thank you so much for joining us. You can feel free to share this, invite more people to join, and then have a conversation in the chat. I'll read the chat all throughout, and of course, if we can have a discussion about whatever is said, we'll work there. Thank you so much again for joining us. As Iraq right now with a 3-point lead, around a minute left to play. In this first half, that is a surprise for a lot of people. Iraq would say, like, no, we are capable of this. But for Gilas Pilipinas, the frustration continues. Poor first half performances in their first 3 games. I think it's safe to say that they will not be happy with their performance here in quarter number 1. Kaiser say, panal na Iraq in the half so far. But we don't even know if that's going to be the case. So panalo na Iraq means Iraq has won already for those that are not from the Philippines and watching this. Low scoring first half. Yeah, I agree. I did mention that a while ago, that when someone was asking for the over-under, that this is going to be a difficult half. Yeah, it's funny. Mongol Khan's asking, is like, why not use the NBA players who have Filipino heritage? So I don't think Dylan Harper is able to, because of the fact he's representing the U.S. as a youth player. Jared McCain as well. Jordan Clarkson can, but then it's hard to bring in NBA players who just want to break or are preparing for their own off season. In other words, sometimes it's difficult for them to come on over. Jalen Green, I don't think, can represent the Philippines as well as Dwight Ramos. Ties the ball game up at 33 all. Dwight Ramos, that was an important one there. And a foul here for CJ Perez. A chance for this Iraq team to come into the halftime break with the lead. So yeah, in other words, Mongol Khan acts. If give all things being equal, it would be great to have everyone on board, but that is unfortunately not the case. As AJ Edu gets a defensive rebound, good stop here for Gilas Pilipinas as we wind down this quarter, and it looks like we're gonna go in all even. Of course, we'll see. That's gonna be the case. Geyser44 says Iraq. Taking a look at the odds counts. Iraq are plus 20, I think, for the whole game, and it just goes to show you that Iraq is a team that shouldn't be looked down on. To be quite frank, so we're gonna see how that works out. So, of course, Gilas Pilipinas will be disappointed with that half for a number of reasons. First of all, let's take a look at some of the stats here for everyone just joining us. So, Iraq have shot 46% from beyond the arc. That's way too high if you're Gilas Pilipinas. You're going to want them to not get to those types of numbers. The rebounding battle has been won by Gilas Pilipinas, offensive rebound in particular by 2. Assist count has been won by Iraq by 1, 9-8, and turnovers dead even at 4. 4 block shots here for Iraq. Points to turnovers, Iraq have 4. Fast break points, Iraq have 5. Gilas Pilipinas doing a better job at second chance points with 8. Points in paint, 14 for Gilas. All right, so those are the numbers pertinent. Who has not shown up? Who has not shown up here for this Gilas team? It is surprisingly Justin Brownlee. Justin Brownlee has yet to make a field goal in this game. He is 0 of 6, and he only has 1 point. And Gilas Pilipinas go into the halftime level at 33 all. Yes, Mahmoud, whoever wins this game moves on to the qualifier for the quarterfinals. They will most likely, it's not sure yet, it depends on the results later on, they will most likely play the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so the host nation, in this one, which is, they are a good athletic team, talking about Saudi Arabia, and will cause problems for sure. The Philippines has played Saudi Arabia here in the Philippines. I believe it was a Jordan Clarkson game at home alongside Kai Soto. And it was a comfortable win for the Philippines then. And of course, again, things could change. I mean, since then, Gilas Pilipinas has grown in so many ways. Remember, they are the team that did win the Asian Games with the same coaching staff. Of course, with arguably more limited players. Anyone who saw the Asian Games will know just how limited or the choice and selection of the Philippines was for there. So WH says that, Iraq will win today against the Philippines. Iraq will play Saudi if Gilas loses. Gilas will play Saudi Arabia if Iraq loses. And they will play Saudi Arabia if Saudi Arabia wins their last group game and Jordan loses to China. If Jordan beats China and Saudi Arabia loses, then we could be playing Jordan instead. So again, there's still a bit of mathematics, to be quite honest, when it comes to the next round. So you gotta watch out for that. But either way, it's going to be really difficult. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen here. Again, for Pugzilla, of course, he's worried about what could happen for when you play the host nation, and that's always going to be like the suspicion, diba? That's always going to be suspicion that you are playing the host team, and therefore things might not go your way. But we'll see what happens here for Gilas Pilipinas. Once again, thank you so much for watching us. This is the FIBA Asia Cup Saudi Arabia 2025 chat party between Iraq and Gilas Pilipinas, or the Philippine national team. And so far, Iraq have been playing very well. Their 3-point shooting, you have to give them credit. It has been fantastic so far for the Philippines. Their 3-point defending still continues to be a problem, and it has been a slow start in the first half with Justin Brownlee scoring only 1 point. For Mahmoud, I believe there are. You know what? I'm gonna bring up the competition format here for Mahmoud because I think that'll be good for everyone to read as well, or everyone to take a look at. So when you take a look at the competition format here, I'm gonna bring up the competition system of the FIBA Asia Cup. Right. So what's gonna happen is that there's a qualifications to the quarterfinals if you are second and third in the group. Okay, if you're fourth, you're eliminated. Once the second and third of the group will cross over so Group A and Group B will cross over, Group C and Group D will cross over. So they will be the qualifiers for quarterfinals. Now, the winner of that qualifier will move on to face the winner of Groups A, B, C, and D. So Group A will face the winner of, man, I gotta check this, zoom in a bit. But either way, let's focus first on what's happening after this qualifications to quarterfinals. Whoever wins this between Gilas and Iraq qualify for the quarterfinals. So let's see what happens there. And of course, well, WH bantering here with Pugzilla, saying that, oh, home cooking only happens in the Philippines. I don't know. Home cooked meals are good wherever you go. Home cooked meals anywhere in the world are fantastic. But there's always that. The thing is that when you think about hosting games, the reason why they're so important is because the crowd gets into it, the familiarity of the venue, the food, you sleep in your own bed. All of those play like small parts into why it's such an advantage to host games, right? To host, to be the home team, right? Mark saying kung lahat lang ng bato ng Gilas sa labas ay pumasok, malamang they already have 10 points. So in other words, for those who don't understand Filipino, he's basically saying if Gilas made all their 3-point shots, they'd be up by 10. Well, I would also say that if they made all their 3-point shots in the previous games, they might have won those games. But that's not the case. So far, the problem with Gilas is apart from offensively, they haven't really gotten going. Their defense. I always have to go back to the defense. The defense on the shooters of Iraq has not been great. Not at all. Again, just take a look at this. If you're looking at Iraq's numbers, they're 6 of 13 from beyond the arc. That's 46%. They're a team that barely shoots 30% on average in this tournament. And here they are shooting almost 16 percentage points higher. That's too much. If you're Coach Tim and you're the rest of coaching staff of Gilas Pilipinas, you're asking yourselves, why are they shooting so well against us? Every team is shooting well against us. So, we're going to find out if they can answer that. Again, the Gilas Pilipinas team has always been better in the second half so far in this tournament. So, we're going to want to see if that team continues here for the Philippines. But if Iraq could show a bit more consistency, then it could be problematic. But we're going into the second half practically dead even. Yi Zhong saying hello to me. Really appreciate you saying hello. I'm not quite sure I understood your last message. If you could retype that more clear. And of course, thanks to everyone watching. What do you think people should do to improve homegrown players? That's a question. That's difficult because every player is a bit different. Every player has a different uh, every player has a different, how do I say this, pathway to being a professional. Personally, I feel that the Philippines has to, in general, lower the. They should make it a habit of having more pros at a younger age, maybe at 20, 19 years old, just to get them used to being professional players more, get into the habit and playing against grown men. I think that will help their development. I also think that there has to be more consistent and a more. I think there has to be a wider visibility on youth games. When I mean youth games, under 16, under 18, youth categories. Just so the scouting and, of course, us watching them will be better. And, of course, hopefully we can have either more foreign influence in terms of coaching at the youth level, not just at the youth level. I think that will add more variety to what the Philippines could choose for. There are a lot of good answers. Mine's not the best. There are a lot of good answers, but we'll see. Of course, we're still waiting for the third quarter. And again, guys, thank you so much for bantering with us here on the live chat. Super appreciate you guys. We're waiting for the third quarter to start here. Gilas Pilipinas trailing, tied up with Iraq. Though for the Philippines, they're going to say like, "Oh, this is bad. We should be winning." And I completely understand. I completely understand that type of thinking. If you're the Philippines, I, for one, feel that Gilas should be leading on paper, but basketball's not played on paper; it's played on the court. So Iraq showing us that they're here to play, and they're making the Philippines really consider the way they're playing, what they're doing for sure. Because they're still the goal for the Philippines here is to find a measure of success and be more consistent in the way that they play. This is a program that has had some success behind it. WH says in Australia and New Zealand you have 16 and 17-year-olds playing senior pro teams. It is the same in the Philippines. No, it's not. No, that's the reason why I mentioned that I think that the Philippines should make it more normal for young players who are exceptionally talented to already go pro, because here in the Philippines there is a lot of incentive not to go professional yet, because the college system, the university system in the Philippines is so lucrative in terms of the allowances, the scholarships, the benefits you get for playing in the university. So from a life perspective, you understand why not a lot of kids go pro at 16 and 17, because you miss out on so much. So you miss out on so much here in the Philippines at the very least. So a lot of these young players, quote unquote young players, only turn pro maybe in their early 20s, 23, 24, 22, which is so late in the world, in the way the world does it overseas, in Europe, in the States even, where you have 19-year-olds being drafted in the NBA. I don't know, in Australia, New Zealand, you have 16, 17-year-olds playing in pro teams or playing against pros or in development programs to become a pro. To be honest, the Philippines has a lot of limitations when it develops their players, in a sense they have them really late in before they're actually ripe, and they perform pretty well still. So I'm only thinking of maybe this could improve things down the line with added investment and a change in culture. All right, so we are gonna start off the third quarter in just a bit. 33 all. Mark says it's somehow a good sign that as well as the locals are stepping up while Brownie is off. I hope Brownie gets going in the second half. Yeah, no, that's actually true. A lot of people are saying that without Justin Brownlee, the Philippines is nothing. But here they are at the very least making things even with Iraq, 33 all. Again, Iraq has shot the ball really well in that first half. So Dwight Ramos leads the charge with 9 points. Then 6 points from Carl Tamayo through a couple of 3-pointers. Junior Fajardo only has 4, CJ Perez has 3, and AJ Edu has 5. So what you're seeing here is a variety of scorers here coming up, uh, trying to make up the numbers for Justin Brownlee. On the other hand, you have the Demario Mayfield with 8, Ali Ismael with 10, who is 3 of 3 from beyond the arc, by the way, for Iraq. Gotta watch out for him. Their top scorer has not necessarily impressed here so far. He's 1 of 4 from the field. That is Abdullah Ali Brahimi. He is 1 of 4. So we're gonna find out, right? This is why New Zealand and Australia Young Bucks go D1 on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, like, they have I think New Zealand and Australia in general as players, I think they personally, I believe they are in general a bigger people. Their size works for D1 basketball in the States, so it's easier to recruit them. You compare that to the Asians in general. I think locally we still are quite small. So, I mean, like, in comparison to the type of players that are considered as unicorns in the States, right? So, yeah, it's not a surprise for me that D1 players work out for Australia and for New Zealand. As we go to the third quarter, Hassan Abdullah misses a 3-pointer to start things off as Ali Ismael gets a offensive rebound. Jaiho says there's no shooting for Gilas Pilipinas. Yep, I agree. Dwight Ramos comes away with a defensive rebound after another miss. So Ali Ismael finally misses a 3-pointer. That's his first missed 3 of the game. But AJ Edu misses a floater. And Dwight Ramos comes away with a steal. Well, quick pace here towards the end of the this. So DJM asking what channel for United States. Kindly check the FIBA.basketball website to find your local listings of where you can watch it. Thank you so much again for joining us, everyone, and having great conversations with us here in the chat. Of course, can I just say just a little disclaimer to everything I said a while ago, because I am not the most foremost expert or smarter basketball people than me, but I'm happy that you would listen to my opinion as well. Personal foul here for Demario Mayfield, fouling Dwight Ramos off that steal, by the way, just a while ago. Oh, and that was a nasty bump. So 33 all between these two. So the way I am watching, yeah, Mahmoud, pretty messy game. It's been a messy game because no one has scored yet in a minute or so play here in the third quarter. And it's so low scoring. 33. Like Chinese Taipei scored 30 on the Philippines on one quarter, right? Gilas Philippines scored 28 on them in another, or 29, one of those things. It has not been a good game offensively here. And Justin Brownlee has gone missing for the Philippines here in this game so far. We are still waiting here for what's happening. I believe there might have been a challenge, or is there? Well, it looks like the live stats of FIBA may have slowed down a bit. Let me just double check what's happening exactly. Oh, okay. There is an official review, so that's the reason why it's taking some time. Or at least there is a technical issue they're trying to fix. So again, thank you so much for joining us here in the FIBA chat party on the FIBA YouTube page. There are around 122 of you here joining us. Let's see if we can get that up. Kindly ask your friends to join us. Have a conversation. Subscribers mode only, so please drop a subscription here. Subscribe to the channel. 117. Yes, see, one person joined because we mentioned it. So please come and join us. Again, please join the community. If you check the description below, you're gonna see different links there. How you can join the community, how you can become a member to unlock exclusive content, and of course the official website of FIBA. So you can also catch the live stats that we all see here together. Take a look at the rebound count here, 2 rebound difference in favor of the Philippines. And a bit of a sloppy game. Mahmoud said it a while ago. Messy game. Yeah, I agree. A bit messy. What happened? It's because there was a review, Zaitsev. So there's been a review or at least there has been like a technical issue on the floor. So score's not moving because the game's not moving. Now I'm watching the feed right now, and we are now focusing on a lot of the crowd. Looks like Zaitsev took out his comment. It's okay. I think that was a very legit. That was a legit question. So timeout called on the floor. I believe it's an official timeout. So again, thanks everyone again for being with us. Let us know where you are all around the world. Let's get this chat going. Getting it's a bit slow right now in terms of the movement happening on the floor because I believe still trying to fix things here in the venue. Still in the third quarter, 33 all. No one has scored. And I guess, we're back going here. Gilas Pilipinas and Iraq are all knotted up at 33 all. 9 minutes have gone by. Or 9 minutes left here. And a miss here from Scotty Thompson and a miss here from Justin Brownlee off the offensive rebound. So Justin Brownlee, it has not been his day. It has not. Dub H saying Philippines fans are great for basketball. I will say with passion. So yeah, I agree. Ihab Al Zuhairi gets a defensive rebound. I think Filipino fans are one of the most passionate ones, as Demario Mayfield gives the lead back to Iraq with a dunk. I think the Philippine fans are one of the most passionate around the world. I'd also have to put Lithuania up there. Lithuania fans are incredible. The way that they follow their national team has been at a different level as well. So Demario Mayfield gets a dunk off the miss from Justin Brownlee. Justin Brownlee has not been good in this game so far. I think it's safe to say that. I mean, as a turnover here from AJ Edu, as Iraq are starting to get going here in the third quarter. Ramsky Gaming says, shout out from the Philippines. Hello, Kabayan. As a miss here from Hassan Abdullah from beyond the arc. Dwight Ramos comes away with the rebound. Here is Dwight Ramos missing from beyond the arc as well. Defensive rebound come from Iraq. So the Philippines have yet to score here in the third quarter. It hasn't been the same case as it was before, where in the second half proved to be much better for the Philippines in terms of their offense, but it has not been the case. So let's see if Iraq could pile on the misery. A missed pull-up from Ali Ismael. AJ Edu comes away with a defensive rebound. Can the Philippines finally get going here? And there, AJ Edu with a missed layup. Jumar Fajardo, offensive rebound. Can he do something? Yes, he can. Tied ball game, 35 all. Jumar Fajardo criticized in that first game for his defense. Getting the point there. 6 points for Junmar. 7 rebounds as well. That's important. The 7 rebounds of Junmar Fajardo. Calvin Oftana checks in, by the way, for Junmar Fajardo, offering a bit more shooting here for Gilas Pilipinas. Well, Karim Kawandi is asking, why don't you stream the game? Says because every country has a specific rights holder. So this is a second stream experience. What we mean here is that you put the game on a different screen. And if you prefer this conversation or want to have a conversation with us here, go ahead and join us, please. Hassan Abdullah misses a three-pointer. Dwight Ramos comes away with a defensive rebound. And Justin Brownlee misses again. Justin Brownlee is having one of his, I think it's safe to say, one of his most disappointing games here for Gilas Pilipinas. A big struggle for him here. 35 all still, as it has been a poor shooting day here for the Philippines and Iraq. Iraq shooting it at 30% exactly. Gilas Filipinas shooting at 31%. Yeah, Mahmoud, absolutely right. I had to bring that up. It's bad shooting here for these two teams. Iraq have been shooting it better from beyond the arc, but it's now gone down to only 35%. Yeesh. And the Philippines has now, well, they're at 31% from beyond the arc. So yeah, bad percentages. Um, so I think the polite way, as Dwight Ramos finally gets a 3-pointer to go, Dwight Ramos gets a three and the lead to Gilas Filipinas. I think it's safe to say that this is what you call a defensive-minded game. uh, a more defense-first game instead of a offensive masterpiece. Oh, Gilas now. Back-to-back triples for Dwight Ramos. That's what we've been waiting for if you're the Philippines. And cue the timeout coming from Iraq. Important score here for Gilas Pilipinas with Dwight Ramos leading the charge. Atomo was just waiting for that. Atomo was just waiting for Dwight Ramos to get going, waiting for the Philippines to get going here against Iraq. And finally, signs of life from the Philippines with Dwight Ramos getting those baskets. And again, this is without Justin Brownlee doing anything from the field. He literally is 0 of 8 from the field here, taking the most shots, not making them though, unfortunately for Justin Brownlee. And Dwight Ramos is 5 of 7. In terms of field goal attempts, AJ Edu also has 8 field goal attempts. He only has made 2 though. Mahmoud says percentages are terrible. Yes, I agree. Again, thanks so much for joining us. 123 people now watching us live concurrently on this chat stream. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. As we go back and resume this third quarter. And AJ Edu gets a 3-ball. The Philippines are now rolling. They were shooting terribly, but they are now off to an 11-0 run against Iraq. Justin Brownlee gets in on the action, rather. That was Justin Brownlee, not AJ Edu. AJ Edu made the assist. So Justin Brownlee gets his first field goal. Wow. Took him a while. And an answer here for Hamoudi, making it 37-44. Still in favor of Gilas Pilipinas. Well, you know what? If you're the Philippines, you're going to be hoping that this is the start of things get the ball rolling again here in the second half, because that first half was not great basketball from Gilas Pilipinas in terms of the offensive end. Defensively, just poor defending from beyond the arc. Dwight Ramos with a miss as Demario Mayfield gets a defensive rebound. Iraq still in this though. Just a 7-point lead. As a turnover here for shot clock violation. Good defending here. Come from Gilas Pilipinas. Ali Ismael misses a 3-point attempt. Remember, he was actually he was flawless in that first half. Ali Ismael did not miss a single three-pointer. How things have changed since then. Calvin Oftana misses a 3-pointer. You have Zuhairi gets a defensive rebound. So if you're Iraq, you're happy that so far the players that have only made baskets from beyond the arc, Justin Brown and Dwight Ramos, well, consistently, are the ones they haven't gotten that shot attempt up. Instead, it was Calvin Oftana, who locally though, incredible shooter. That's normally a shot in the corner, by the way. Defensive rebound, or rather turnover. 3-second violation here for Diyar Ahmad Abdul Allah. As Scotty Thompson checks out, and a missed shot here from Dwight Ramos from beyond the arc. Chris Newsom comes back in. Better performance for Gilas Pilipinas, but they need that final kick in that fourth quarter. Because Iraq can come back. They still can. Definitely have the talent to do so. And it has not been a classic game for Gilas, as Dwight Ramos gets a 2 off the fast break, off the missed shot there from Ali Ismael. Justin Brownlee getting the defensive rebound. By the way, that's a basket and one. So Dwight Ramos will have a chance to make it a 10-point lead, the first double-digit lead of the ballgame. You know, if you're Gilas Pilipinas at this point, it's okay if you win ugly. Just win. If you're Iraq, well, make the game uglier in the sense that defensively be stern, be strong, and stop Gilas from finding their rhythm, because they're finding their rhythm here. If you can make the game a bit more difficult on them, Iraq have a chance to come back. 10-point lead for Gilas Pilipinas, courtesy of the free throw made from Dwight Ramos, who has been the best player here for Gilas Pilipinas by a margin, with 18 points, 5 rebounds in this one so far. Shooting 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. That's 50%, 6 of 10 from the field. In the Philippines, his nickname is Saint Dwight. I can guarantee you a lot of people are praying for him, praying to him right now, asking for his intercession. As Justin Brownlee gets a steal, Abdullah Haidar Alibarahim ends up with a foul. So 2 free throws awarded here for Dwight Ramos. And a chance now. He gets the first of 2 free throws. Sama Dwight. And Dwight knocking on the 20-point margin already. Gets the first of 2. Splits the free throws. Sama Dwight Ramos. Ihab Al-Zahuwairi gets a defensive rebound. Still an 11-point lead here for Gilas Pilipinas. And a turnover here for Ali Brahimi, with Justin Brownlee coming away with a steal. And AJ Edu gets the points underneath the basket, courtesy of the layup and the assist from Justin Brownlee. 13-point ball game. This is more like it for Gilas Pilipinas. It took them 2 quarters, 3 quarters and a half. Well, 2 quarters and a half, rather, to get their rhythm going. And this is more like it for Gilas Pilipinas. As another turnover here. Justin Brownlee with a steal. Justin Brownlee. Oh, a 3-ball coming right up. 53-37 as Chris Newsom gets the 3-pointer. So things are going quickly here for the Philippines. Frozo's asking how many points does Dwight Ramos have. Dwight Ramos at the moment has 19 points. 19 points of 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and 4 of 5 from the free throw line, and also 5 rebounds to boot. So Chris Newsom getting the 3-ball, and Justin Brownlee getting 2 as well after that offensive rebound from AJ Edu. AJ Edu had a blocked shot, by the way, in the possession before that. Mahmoud says, remember when I said Iraq always collapses in the second half? Well, that's what's happening so far. Roman asking, what are the stats of Brownlee? Well, you know what? I'm not Sir Martin. My name is Paulo Roman, but I will go and give you those stats anyway. Justin Brownlee, poor day for him. I mean, like, he's coming up bigger here, but he is 6 points, 2 of 10 from the field, and has been trying to make up for it in assists and rebounding. So that's 4 assists and 4 rebounds. Aval's Vicup says, it looks like the Philippines found Michael's special stuff. Well, so far, yes. It happened halfway through the third quarter. Ihab Al-Zuhairi stops the bleeding with a big three-pointer. Yeah, that was big. By the way, Japet Aguilar checks in for the first time this competition, actually. No, he did have a few minutes in that first game, but he has been used sparingly. Defensive rebound for Abbas. So Al-Zuhairi actually blocked Japet Aguilar. Crowd favorite, Japet. Yes, Vaults. I understand the Space Jam reference. And that is the end of the period here. Gilas Pilipinas up 15, 55 to 40. After an explosive third quarter, they outscore Iraq 22 to 7. So they were actually not doing very well until halfway through the third quarter, but they clamped down defensively, good defensive stops. Only 7 points for Iraq in the third. You're right, Mark. Only 7 points. Incredible performance here for Gilas Pilipinas on the defensive end. But then they really only came alive late, talking about the Philippines. And yeah, the question is right now, can they continue that momentum? Because there will be adjustments made from Iraq. But for the Philippines, it's always been defensive improvement. For Josh saying like he's complaining about the live stream, it's not free. I actually think it's free if you register on Signal Play. Oh, sorry. I think it's free in the Philippines if you register on the Pilipinas Live app. I believe it's free. Just register and I think you can watch it for free on the app. And I think there's also a website for it. I'm not sure. You have to double check it. But if I'm not mistaken, it is. So yeah, go double check that. But don't leave this. Vaults because they say compared to the qualifiers, Philippines are struggling in this tournament. What happened in previous games? I think it's well, the last one of the qualifiers, the Philippines already qualified then. They tried something different by having more. They wanted more games, so they did games in Dubai. Was it in Dubai? I think it was in Dubai or Qatar. One of those places. Before the home game against the away game against Chinese Taipei. So they did a couple of games in the Middle East. Then they flew back to the Philippines for one day. Then flew to Chinese Taipei, to Taiwan. Played a game there. They lost that game. And then they had to go to New Zealand a few days later. And they lost that game in New Zealand. So I can safely say that last window was probably poor planning on the end of Gilas Pilipinas, and that's why they struggled in the qualifiers then. And I feel that at the moment they still have not yet fully integrated this team without the likes of Kai Soto's a big factor. They're still, and the local leagues also ended a bit late for some of their key players. So I think if the Philippines can stay in the tournament longer, they will get better. And this has not necessarily been that yet. That first two quarters were not great. They've only been great for maybe 5 minutes so far, talking about the Philippines. So let's see if that will change. Missed shot here for Japet Aguilar. He's getting extended minutes here in the fourth quarter. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. Again, hey, wherever you are around the world, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, being part of this chat. I really appreciate the company that you guys are giving here on the FIBA page. And hopefully, we can keep on talking here and, make this a regular occurrence. It'll be here for all the games here for the FIBA AsiaCup. It won't always be me, but then always keep the guys company, always keep the girls company, whoever is hosting. And we really want to say thank you for all of that. Yeah, Balls Wake Up says, because even a year ago in Olympic qualifiers, they were dangerous. Oh, yeah, I agree. They were dangerous. Funnily enough, I think the Olympic qualifiers, I believe from a roster perspective, Kai Soto did help, but he was not in that last game against Brazil. They got tired. They lacked another big guard. Gilas lacked another big guard to defend the perimeter in that game in particular. So it wasn't just not having Kai Soto. They had, I believe they should have had another player instead of another. That's my own personal preference. As Japet Aguilar gets his first points of the game here after scoring 2 points under the basket, he answers the 2 points made by Hamoudi just a few moments ago. But yes, Kai Soto helped, 100%. We're talking about Valts v Coops. Actually, I was speaking to some of the coaching staff between of the Philippines, and they had conversations with Latvia. Apart from the fact that Soto played well, Gilas actually has very lengthy guards. When I mean lengthy guards, they were actually able to defend and were bigger than some of the Latvian guards. Guards, right? Wings. I think the wings of Latvia are a bit have a bit more size. But the fact that they could defend the guard position well in that particular tournament, I think that was one of the key differences for Gilas Pilipinas against Latvia. But yes, the bigs did make a big difference. Even Junmar Fajardo played well against Latvia, if I'm not mistaken. And 3-ball here for Hamoudi. See, guys, don't count them out yet, Iraq, because they still have those shooters, and the Philippines have yet to really contain 3-point shooting. Of course, so far, Iraq have been doing a good job defensively here in the fourth quarter. They've only limited Gilas to only 2 points here in around 2 minutes. Yeah. And a missed 3-ball here for Kevin Cambao. And Valts, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here from Europe, watching Asian basketball. Really appreciate that. So far, has been a struggle here for Gilas to get going offensively in the fourth quarter. 5-2 in favor of Iraq. And Mohamed Al-Kafaji gets a basket, and they now get their point total in the third quarter. 7 points in the third quarter. They now have 7 points in the fourth quarter. Mahmoud says Porzingis wasn't playing though. Yeah, but you can only play whoever's in front of you. And just because Porzingis isn't there, that doesn't mean that's not Latvia. Hamoudi gets a 3-pointer. And now the lead is down to 7. If you're the Philippines, you gotta get going. Yeah, Valts, that's true. You were missing some key players in those qualifiers as well. That was unfortunate for you guys. Oh man, the Philippines call for time, and they should. Wow, they should call for timeout after that. It is a 8-0 run for. It's an 8-0 run for Iraq, and a 10-2 run in the fourth quarter. Well, Iraq are showing everyone they're still dangerous. They're still in this ball game. The Philippines cannot relax. They had a good 5-minute spell in the end of the third quarter. Not there yet. They are not there yet. All right, so you gotta wake up if you're the Philippines. Yeah, Isaac Watson's right. Gotta play some more defense. I agree. The problem with this Philippine team, this version of this Philippine team, they have a hard time defending the three. Teams shoot really well against this Philippine team. Like, they shoot really well. Do I think China could win the tournament? Maybe. I mean, like, it depends on. Now you never know with knockout basketball. To be honest, I know some people think that New Zealand are one of the favorites to at least make the podium again, and I think that that's true. But Chinese basketball hasn't been as dominant as they used to be. In the years past, I think 2015 is the last time they were successful. But China, I think, has the capability. Yeah, Australia's I think Australia are the favorites. So for Isaac, some Some are somewhat contested. You know, to be fair, they've never fouled 3 point shooters, so I'd say somewhat contested. I think that they could be closer. Talking about the Filipinos in the way that they defended. So a foul here on miss here from Dwight Ramos, and we go the other way, and a foul here for Kevin Kembao. So, Iraq playing well here in the fourth. You never know. Yeah, Isaac, I have to go back and double check um, how contested or not contested a lot of these threes are. I think you can go either way, but I don't think they were completely open. But I think the closeout has to be harder and stronger for the Philippines, or at the same time, just be better when it comes to those coverages, when it comes to pick and rolls. Coach Tim doesn't really like switching as much. I think he has to switch a bit more. The Philippines also play zone from time to time uh, as a little way to mix things up. Calvin Oftana gets a 3 pointer to go here for Gilas Pilipinas. Much needed 3 pointer, by the way, for Gilas Pilipinas. Paul says Australia is a big problem in terms of who could win it all. Answering Mahmoud, do you think China could win the tournament? Yeah, I think Australia's the number one favorite. Personally speaking, I think they're the number one favorite. I think New Zealand is good for a podium finish. But then the thing is that I actually think the Philippines, if they avoided that one bad quarter, they could have taken down New Zealand again. Missed shot from AJ Edu, but then quickly a steal here of Calvin Oftana. It was starting to make a difference here in the fourth quarter, talking about Calvin Oftana. Of course, if you guys had a power ranking, or if you could predict who would be the top three teams in this FIBA Asia Cup, let us know what you think. Who do you feel will be the top three teams, regardless of order, in the end of this FIBA Asia Cup? Do you think China could be there? Do you think Australia will? No one could upset Australia. Do you think New Zealand can make it as well? Let us all know. Missed 3-pointer here for Calvin Oftana. Vald says, in general, unless Australia will suddenly decline in basketball every time they will not take an Asia Cup, it will be an upset. I think that's a fair. I think that's fair so far. But I felt the same way about China before. By the way, it felt like China was winning everything. As Justin Brownlee gets a 2-pointer, gets a lay-in to make it a 12-point game yet again, and Abbas misses a 3-pointer. So the shots have something to start to dry up again for Iraq. Miss layup here for Hamoudi. As right now, Iraq they have gone cold. It's a 5-0 run here for Gilas Pilipinas. That has gone for how many minutes is this? 2 minutes already. Oof. That's poor here for Iraq. Timeout here for Iraq. 3:47 left. You got to get going. If you're the Philippines, you gotta hope that, well, you know what, can't take anything for granted. They can't make a mistake. Around 3:47 left here. Gilas Pilipinas sitting pretty on a 12-point lead. It has to do a lot better here to see off this Iraq team. Thank you so much for joining us. So, all right. Isaac Watson says, I really like the FIBA rules, so it looks very fun to watch. I agree. I can imagine there was a big outrage when Asia and Oceania were joined together in FIBA. Maybe I can comment on that. Well, I think in terms of it being more. It's hard to comment on that without it being racially charged in any way, to be quite honest. Um, I think that some people would say that geographically speaking, they're not in the same continent, and I understand what they're talking about. But for Asia, personally, I see it as a challenge to start matching or even beating some of the more traditional powerhouses on the world stage, which is Australia and New Zealand also. So yeah, I mean, like it's harder to win things, but then I don't know, having a more competitive mindset. I believe that to be the best, you gotta play the best. You can't just if that includes teams like Australia, New Zealand, then so be it. But that's FIBA's decision, not mine. I'm not a policymaker. Oh, Australia's dominance, yeah, sure. I mean, I get you. But then once a team starts to beat Australia, it'll be different. I mean, we could say the same thing about China before, that they were too dominant, and yet we found a way to overcome them from time to time. And hopefully, more teams find a way to topple that dominance as well. So, turnover here for Iraq on shot clock violation. That's better defense here for the Philippines. A missed 3-point shot there from CJ Perez. Well, if you're looking at the dominance here, I just want to that last in the 2022 Asia Cup, Australia almost lost the final. They only won it by 2. Time remaining here is around 3:10. Henry Jorolan. Yeah. Around 3 minutes or so. Justin Brownlee with a defensive rebound off the miss from Ali Ismail. So the 3-point shooting. So sorry here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna answer your questions just a bit. Or at least try to. But focus here what's happening in the fourth quarter. Or trying to analyze what's happening. The shooting has dried out for Iraq at the start of the fourth quarter. Gilas has done a better job at defending. They forced a couple of turnovers, courtesy of their defending on the floor a lot better. And Gilas just finding a way to make shots. Right now, it is off the fast break. AJ Edu comes up with a steal, and now Gilas up 14, 64 to 50. Mahmoud says, do you think the Philippines could be the best in Asia in 10 years? White Ramos, by the way, getting the basket a while ago. Yeah, I think if can the Philippines be the top best in Asia in 10 years? I think the Philippines and Japan and China are closer than some people realize to reaching the top of Asia. If we're just talking about Asia, right? But if you include Oceania to that, Australia, New Zealand, I think it might be a bit different. I think they're the better teams in Asia actually can compete with New Zealand, the best of New Zealand. So right now, Ali Ismail gets a 2-pointer to answer back to White Ramos. 3-point defense showed up late in the second half, by the way. Isaac Watson, not early on. It was bad in the first half. My gosh. So Ali Ismail gets the basket end one to go after a foul from Justin Brownlee. I think the Philippines can be the best in Asia in a certain span of time within the next 10 years. Now, can they compete consistently with the best Australia has? I do not think so in the next 10 years unless they find NBA level local talent, which, might be a bit difficult. Three-point defense showed up from Isaac Watson to a degree, yes. A personal foul here from CJ Perez as Ali Ismail will get the foul. All right, so we are looking like Gilas Pilipinas will go on to the qualifiers for the quarterfinals. So the format here is in each group, the top 3 teams will advance to the next round. but the second and third teams will have to go to a qualifier to qualify for the quarterfinals, right? So the win here is important for the Philippines because they end up third. Now, because they end up third, they will go up against the third place team in Group C. At the moment, Group C third place at the moment is Jordan. Is that no? Rather, second place of Group C is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the host nation. They have one more game left, and that'll be India. And if you're Jordan, you have one more game left. That's against China. Saudi Arabia are expected to beat India. I say expected because you never know, right? You never know what could happen. Jordan's expected to lose to China. But again, you never know. GG's to Iraq, says Mahmoud. I mean, like, it's going to be tough for the Iraq to come back from this one with 11-point lead here for the Philippines. So it's going to look like the Philippines will go up against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia if there are no upsets. Okay? That's a big if. On the other end, as we are waiting for who makes it to the quarterfinals, they could actually, as the Mario Mayfield makes it a 9-point game after that basket. Most likely, the Philippines will play. The winner of the Philippines and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the qualifiers quarterfinals will play Australia. That's going to be tough. Vault says there's still time for Iraq if they manage some defensive stops. You know what, that's true, Vaults, but then you have to count how many possessions can you expect the Philippines to have in the last 46 or so seconds left, right? As AJ Edu gets a 2-pointer off the alley-oop. 66-55 the count. You know, you count how many possessions they're going to have. So if you're going to milk the clock, you probably have 3 possessions or 2 possessions. And of course, Iraq will try to have to manage to score 9 points at that point prior to AJ Edu hitting that basket in 3 possessions. You have to manufacture so much. That'll be difficult. Right now they're playing the foul game. Chris Newsom awarded 2 free throws. Or rather, Chris Newsom fouling Ihab Al-Zuhairi. They're going to have to make their free throws. Mahmoud, how do you feel about Qatar having mostly foreigners? I mean, I'm not too familiar with the laws in terms of naturalization process or citizens for Qatar. So I can't really say much about that. All I can say is that, look, if they're eligible to play according to FIBA rules, you know what? I'm not gonna. You just gotta beat them. You gotta beat them. Just like how all these teams have to beat Australia if a lot of people don't agree that the Oceania should have been merged with Asia. I personally, no problem with it, and I am here to see if they can make a difference. So Ahab Al-Zuhairi gets it too. Yeah, Valt is the 4th already, so there's no chance. Yeah, Isaac Watson saying until Qatar win a major tournament, it shouldn't matter. To a degree, yeah, I agree with that. But I think some of the nations who are trying to qualify for certain tournaments, it matters to them. So, yeah. So the Philippines will take home a 66-57 win as we wait for the official buzzer. I think Vaults was confused about what quarter it was because the scoring was so low. The scoring was so low, 66-57. Len Craig saying go Gilas. A lot of people are happy. And yes, that is the end of the game. Thank you so much for joining us. SMU12FD with a late message. Thank you so much for the buzzer beater of a message. We really appreciate you guys for joining us here in the FIBA chat party. Final score 57-66. Gilas Pilipinas advances to the next round. Third quarter decided the game. Opponents develops hiccups. I agree that third quarter burst from the Philippines. I think the last 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe even five, really made a difference. Iraq got going early in the fourth, but then that was it. Not much there. Thank you so much for that. For those wondering watch uh, where you can watch these in your own country or wherever you are, you can check the FIBA website to see who your local broadcasters are, because this is just a second stream experience. Where you have the game going on one end, my voice or whoever else is on chat on the other end, and everyone's chats here happening as well. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Once again, my name is Paulo Del Rosario. It was a pleasure being your company here for this game, and I cannot wait to see you all for the next ones as well. And it should be an exciting FIBA Asia Cup. I have a feeling more upsets are in store for all of us. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you next time around. We have the chat party. We'll have one for every game. Thank you so much. Have a great day wherever you are around the world.